Mr. Singh lived in a sprawling housing society. He employed two part-time domestic helps, Vimla and Sharda. Vimla was responsible for cleaning and dusting, while Sharda took care of cooking. Okay, so we know that he lives in a sprawling housing society. Sprawling housing society can mean like a big housing society, can also mean premium housing society where affluent people stay. He employed two part-time domestic helps. We know that, Vimla and Sharda, and they had separate roles and responsibilities. Vimla was in charge for cleaning and dusting, and Sharda was in charge of cooking. Okay. Once Sharda fell ill and consequently took leave for 3 days. All right. When Sharda returned to work, she learned that Mr. Singh's gold ring, a gift from his mother, was missing. Suspecting theft, Mr. Singh had terminated Vimla. All right. Okay. So that's a serious situation. Mr. Singh asked Sharda to take additional responsibility of cleaning the house. We know that Sharda was in charge of cooking. Now, since Vimla has been terminated, Mr. Singh has asked Sharda to take additional responsibility, along with an offer to double her salary. Alright. Sharda accepted the offer as her previous two jobs were lost due to frequent health-related absences. She was struggling to make ends meet. This offer would go a long way to help her. Alright, so important details here, right? I mean, when Sharda was away on sick leave, the gold ring went missing. As a result, Vimla was terminated because Vimla was suspected of theft, and it says suspecting theft. Then Sharda was given an additional responsibility and an offer to double her salary. Sharda accepted her offer. As her previous two jobs were lost due to frequent health-related absences, she was struggling to make ends meet. So this was the primary reason why Sharda accepted the offer. Next day, while cleaning under the dressing table, Sharda found the gold ring. Okay. Overjoyed, Mr. Singh expressed his gratitude by presenting Sharda a reward of 1,000 rupees. However, he made no mention of reinstating Vimla. It's a problem, right? I mean, Vimla was terminated, and clearly now it's clear from here that Vimla was terminated for no fault of hers. She was suspected of theft, but she was innocent. She was terminated. Sharda found the ring, which is great. But then Mr. Singh, although he expressed gratitude and gave her a reward of 1,000 rupees, made no mention of reinstating Vimla, which is obviously a problem. Okay, keep these things in mind. Let's go to the questions. Sharda was contemplating whether she should inform Vimla that she found Mr. Singh's ring. Okay, anybody in Sharda's position would have this dilemma, right? Vimla was fired from her job because of this accusation of stealing a ring. Obviously, she has now been proven innocent because the ring has been found. So Sharda is now wondering if she should inform Vimla so that Vimla can prove her innocence. Which of the following considerations will best dissuade Sharda in sharing the information about the ring with Vimla? Okay, understand the question, very, very important. We are looking for a consideration that will dissuade Sharda, discourage Sharda in sharing the information about the ring with Vimla. Sharda is now wondering, that's a dilemma that she has, if she should share the information or not. We are looking for a reason or a consideration or a point that will dissuade, discourage Sharda in sharing this information with Vimla. Okay, again, you can put yourself in Sharda's shoes and solve this question. Whenever Sharda was absent, Vimla used to help her by taking over her responsibilities. Now, this is a positive point of Vimla, right? So whenever Sharda was absent, Vimla was pitching in. Now, if this information, as if you were Sharda and if you got this information, that would potentially encourage you to share the information with Vimla, because Vimla has helped you in the past. So then you would feel obliged to help her now. So the question is asking best discourage Sharda. This would actually encourage Sharda to share the information with Vimla. So this is not the answer. Mr. Singh will probably terminate Sharda if he gets to know that she has revealed this information. Now the question is saying which the consideration that will best discourage Sharda in revealing this information. Remember, this job is very important for Sharda. You can go back and check the set. Right? She lost her previous two jobs because of health-related concerns. So this job is very important with her. Now, if there is a chance that Sharda will get terminated upon sharing this information with Vimla, then this can discourage Sharda. Okay. Now you might say that, oh, this is not correct. Sharda should share the information because Vimla is the accused. It's an unfair accusation, and by sharing the information, Sharda will help Vimla prove her innocence. But here, the question is asking discouraging Sharda. Sharda will obviously think about this. Her job is at stake, right? And she badly needs this job. So if there is a chance of termination, Sharda will hesitate. Sharda will get discouraged to reveal this information. Okay, so let's park this. This might seem unfair, but stick to the question. Will it discourage Sharda? Yes. Okay, and we have to answer the question. Number 3. Sharda is not keeping well, and Mr. Singh warned her that her frequent absences could lead to her termination. Now, look at both 2 and 3. Both 2 and 3 are talking about the risk of Sharda's termination. But 2 clearly says the termination would happen if she reveals the information. 3 is talking about her health-related absences. How is this related to what we're discussing? Okay, this threat would, not threat, sorry. The risk in 3 will always be there. This is irrespective of the situation at hand. What Mr. Singh has said that if there are frequent absences due to health, you might be terminated. But this situation is unrelated to what we're discussing, right? 2 is related because the termination would happen if she reveals this information. So it's very directly related to the situation, whereas 3 is not related. It's irrelevant whether she shares it, doesn't share it. This risk of getting terminated because of sick leaves will still remain. So it's not relevant, and we're going to eliminate this option. Vimla already knows she has not stolen anything, so telling her will not give her any new information. Okay. Now again, put yourself in Sharda's shoes. Can you convince yourself that, okay, I don't need to share this information with Vimla because she already knows that she has not stolen anything? That's not the point. Definitely Vimla knows that she has not stolen anything, but Vimla has been accused of a crime. Vimla has been accused of a theft. So Vimla will want to prove her innocence, right? So here, this is not reason enough. This won't discourage Sharda because it's not enough. Vimla already knows this, but Vimla needs help to prove her innocence. So it's important, and therefore 4 is not a concrete reason. Had Vimla done her job properly, she would have found the ring and avoided this incident. Now this is putting the ownership on Vimla again. Okay, first of all, she's been accused unfairly. It's a wrong accusation. So saying that, okay, had she done her job properly, she would have found the ring. That's not the point here. The point is that an unfair accusation has been imposed on Vimla, and Vimla will want to prove her innocence. So this can't be a reason to discourage Sharda from sharing her information. This is kind of like, if you also think about it, Vimla is already unfairly accused, and we're also imposing this additional sort of onus on her. So this doesn't make sense in this case. The answer that makes sense is 2, okay, and that is the right answer. The termination risk is a big risk for Sharda, who needs this job badly. So this will definitely dissuade her from discourage her from sharing this information with Vimla. Okay, slightly tricky question because you might wonder if it's fair or not fair, but think again from Sharda's angle, who badly needs this job. This will definitely discourage her, which is what the question is asking. Okay, let's look at question 2. 2 months passed, and owing to Sharda's improved health and dedication, Sharda started working in 3 more houses. Great, good job, Sharda. However, Vimla was dismissed from her jobs in 2 more houses, primarily due to the ring incident. This is really bad for Vimla, right? She was unfairly accused. It's a wrong accusation, and because of that, she not only lost Mr. Singh's job, but also 2 more houses. News of the discovery of the lost ring had not become public, and Sharda wanted to help Vimla. Obviously, Sharda is contemplating over possible actions. Alright, so now see, this has become more serious. Vimla has lost 2 more jobs because of this ring incident. So now, and the news is still not public. Okay, people would have known, the 2 houses that dismissed her would have known from Mr. Singh, or maybe a small group of people know, Singh's friends. But publicly, this news has not become public. News of the fact that the ring was found and Vimla is innocent. So here Sharda obviously wants to help Vimla because Vimla is in distress. Sharda is contemplating over possible actions. Which of the following actions by Sharda will best help Vimla? Again, now stick to the question only. Okay. Again, put yourself in Sharda's shoes. You have to take an action that will best help Vimla. Now, what is Vimla's concern? Vimla's concern is that she has lost 2 more jobs because of the ring incident. That's her primary concern. Okay, so we have to help Vimla by trying to address this concern. Okay, keep that in mind. That is what it means. Best help Vimla in what sense? By addressing this major concern that she has lost 2 her jobs because of the ring incident. Okay, number 1. Divulge to Vimla's employers and the housing society that she has found the ring. This is an action by Sharda, potential action. Now think about it. So Sharda goes to Vimla's employers, the two employers who have now terminated her and tells them that she has found the ring, Sharda has found the ring, implying that Vimla is innocent. Okay, this can help in Vimla getting the job back because of the employers have terminated her because of this ring incident. If Sharda goes to them and tells them that the ring has been found, this could potentially help in the employers reinstating Vimla in her job. Okay, so let's park this. This could work. Number 2, confront Mr. Singh about concealing the discovery of the lost ring from the housing society residents. All right. So now imagine Sharda has a job at Mr. Singh's place. Again, the question says we have to help Vimla, right? Sharda has a job at Mr. Singh's place. Let's say she goes and confront her employer and about, why did you conceal the discovery? You should have told everyone, look at what's happening. Vimla has lost her job because of this false accusation. Now, this could potentially create a conflict with Mr. Singh. Our job here, Sharda's job here is to help Vimla. If you antagonize Mr. Singh like this, Mr. Singh might refuse to make the information public. Right? The whole idea here is to prove to Vimla's employers that she's innocent. By antagonizing Mr. Singh and confronting her like this, Mr. Singh might go on the defense mode and say that I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to reveal the information. Who are you? It's none of your business. I'm not revealing the information in public. So it doesn't really help Vimla here. Antagonizing Mr. Singh and creating a conflict with Mr. Singh is not going to help Vimla. Okay? Alright, our objective is to help Vimla. Quit the job at Mr. Singh's house and ask him to consider offering that job to Vimla. Now think about this. Mr. Singh has terminated Vimla. Mr. Singh has not made the information public for whatever reasons. Now, if Sharda quits the job and persuades Singh to give the job to Vimla, what are the chances that Singh will accept this? Again, you're creating a conflict with Mr. Singh. It's not going to help anyone, right? And what are the chances of Mr. Singh giving the job back to Vimla? He could have done that already. He could have made the information public and helped Vimla, but he did not. By creating a further conflict, because if he quit the job, that's obviously bound to make Mr. Singh angry, and that conflict is not going to help Vimla. Inform Vimla that the ring has been found and advise her to demand compensation from Mr. Singh for tarnishing her image. Now, you inform Vimla, okay, our job is to help Vimla get back those jobs. How does this help her? Right? Because she goes and tells Vimla, and then advises Vimla, go and demand compensation from Mr. Singh for tarnishing her image. Again, you're creating a conflict with Mr. Singh. Okay? This can make Mr. Singh angry. This can antagonize him. Right? Although it's the right thing for Vimla to do, but is it helping her in this situation? We're trying to help her get those jobs back. This might not help her. Because if you make Mr. Singh angry and he refuses to make that information public, again, Vimla is back to square one. And he can refuse to give the compensation also. It doesn't really help her. Alright, inform as many domestic helps in the housing society as possible that she has found the ring. Okay, now what is the implication of this option? If the news, the idea is to spread the news so that it eventually reaches Vimla's employers. Now, by informing domestic helps and spreading the news may or may not reach Vimla's employers. Right? I mean, look at one. In one, she's directly going to Vimla's employees and informing them. Isn't that better than going to domestic helps and then hoping that the news will reach? And also, once the news spreads, masala gets added, some warped version of the news might reach because it becomes gossip. Right? It's always better to have direct communication rather than spreading it and then hoping that it will reach, and also what version of twisted information will reach, we don't know. So this may or may not help Vimla. One is clearly better and the strongest option, because if the employees are convinced, they might reinstate Vimla. Okay, so the answer is 1. The news of the discovery of the lost ring eventually became public. The domestic helps in the society were chagrined by the treatment meted out to Vimla and the fact that the news of the discovery was not made public immediately. Don't let chagrin throw you off. It's an uncommon word. Here you can understand it from context that the domestic helps in the society were extremely annoyed and frustrated, and that's what chagrin means, by the treatment meted out to Vimla and the fact that the news of the discovery was not made public immediately. They wanted to ensure that they would not get targeted every time if something goes missing. And the domestic helps, this is a legitimate concern. right? If this has happened once to Vimla, it can happen to anybody, any other domestic help. So they wanted to ensure that they would not get targeted every time something goes missing, right? Which of the following policy options will best minimize the chance of employers suspecting their domestic workers of theft in the future? Understand this question very carefully, especially it's a longer question. We're looking for a policy option that will best minimize the chance of employers suspecting their domestic workers of theft in the future. Okay, so we have to protect the domestic helps, all right, from suspicion of theft in the future in such incidents. So we have to minimize the chances of the employers blatantly suspecting their domestic workers. So understand the question, and now let's look for a policy option. Let's look at option 1. The domestic workers will undergo a daily search by the security guards when leaving the society. Now, this option, when you read it, it may seem unfair to the domestic workers. You may think that why should the domestic workers be subjected to this daily search? It's unfair, it's unethical. Some of you might think it's discriminatory. Those thoughts can come in your head. But think about it, right? If the domestic workers undergo a daily search by the security guards thoroughly check them to see that they don't have any item from the households that they're working in. If this check is done on a daily basis, the employers can rest easy, right? They know that security is checking them every day. So if a theft happens, the chances of them suspecting the domestic workers are quite low. I'm not saying they wouldn't suspect it, they can still suspect them. But the chances are lower because the employers know that there is a daily search conducted every day. If there was something, if they had stolen something, that would be immediately found by the security. So this option will give employers relief and can minimize the chance of suspecting the domestic workers. Let's park this. The current address and contact details of all domestic workers should be submitted to the housing society. Now, this also seems like a good option, but again, read the question. We're trying to minimize the chance of employer's suspicion. Will this reduce the chance of suspicion? See, what this will help is if something is stolen by a domestic worker, they know their contact details, so the chances of finding that stolen item are higher. They can report to the police and the police can go and do a check and potentially find that stolen item. So the chances of finding the stolen item are higher, but does this reduce the suspicion? Does this reduce the chance of suspicion? No. The employees can still suspect them, but it might help in finding the stolen item. That's why it's very important to read the question carefully and answer the question directly. Okay? This will not reduce suspicion. If there is a suspicion of theft, the security guards will first conduct a thorough search of the affected house. Alright, again we are talking about what should happen after the theft. The security guards go and conduct a thorough search that can help them in finding the stolen item. But how does this reduce suspicion? Right, the employees can still suspect the domestic workers. Yes, the security guards are coming and doing a thorough search, which can later prove the domestic workers' innocence, but it doesn't reduce the chances of suspicion. Again, stick to the question. When a domestic worker is terminated on suspicion of theft without proof, they will have to be paid at least 1 month's salary in full. Okay, when a domestic worker is terminated on suspicion of theft without proof, they'll have to be paid at least 1 month's salary in full. How does this reduce chances of suspicion? Again, this is after the theft and also after the suspicion. They've been suspected, but there is no proof. So what we're saying is the domestic worker should be paid at least 1 month's salary in full. But this doesn't help in reducing the chances of suspicion again. When a domestic worker is terminated on suspicion of theft, the employer will have to publicly apologize if the domestic worker can prove their innocence. Again, we are talking about what will happen after the theft. How does this reduce suspicion? What this option is saying is the employers will still suspect, but they'll have to publicly apologize if the worker can prove their innocence. This doesn't reduce the chance of employees suspecting. Okay. Again, it's very, very important in BDM to read the question, understand the question, and make sure the option is directly addressing that question. Okay. Or it should be the best it should address the question in the best way possible out of the 5 options. So the answer here is 1.